Hello, welcome back. Today we're going to go over how you can go about adding a valid domain so that you can send your emails from a custom from address and a custom from domain in Qualtrics. Now, in most cases, when people are sending emails, especially from companies, what they'll want to do is send it from a custom from address and a custom domain that matches with their company instead of the default Qualtrics one. So for example, if I'm composing an email in Qualtrics, the default from address will always be this, noreplyqueueemailserver.com. But if I change it to noreplyexample.com, for example, it doesn't let me send this email because this domain hasn't been connected to and set up with Qualtrics. So I won't be able to send this email no matter what I do, since this domain isn't connected to Qualtrics on this user or brand's account. Now today we're going to go over how you set up that connection so that if you do want to send from noreply@example.com, you can do so. Now the way in which you're going to do this is a little bit complicated and will involve your IT team. So this is something that works with both your IT team and brand administrators, as brand administrators do have a certain section of the platform that most users don't have access to, and your IT team will need to add a few components to your existing configuration of your organization to get this to work as expected. With all of that being said, let's hop into the steps. So the very first place you're going to want to go is your admin tab. This is why you'll need your brand administrator, as they're the only ones who have access to this tab and the organization setting piece we're going to head into next. So once we head into the admin tab, in the top right corner, we're going to head to organization settings, then messaging, and you'll see here custom email domains. This is where you're going to go about adding the domain itself. So once you click add domain, now this piece isn't too important, the selector, but the one thing you do have to keep in mind is that if you have multiple domains, each selector has to be unique. So since this is the first domain I'm adding, I don't really need to think too much about the selector. But if this was the second, I might do Qualtrics_1, Qualtrics_2, Qualtrics_example, something like that, to make sure each selector is unique. As per domain, each selector must be unique. So once I've added this domain with this selector, then these guys will pop up, which will need to be added to the DNS record, the current one, to make sure that you guys can send from this domain in Qualtrics. This will be where you'll work with your IT team. You have this DKIM value, and all these guys, once this is added to your DNS record, then you'll be good to go. Once again, to recap, the way in which you're going to go about setting this up is to head to your admin tab, organization settings, messaging, custom email domains, and then once these guys are added to your DNS record, about 24 hours later, once the propagation is complete, and sometimes it can take up to 74 in the worst case scenario, but after the propagation is complete, then you'll be able to send from example.com or whatever domain you set up in Qualtrics through your emails. Hope that clarifies things. This is definitely a pretty tricky topic, and I've left some helpful notes in the description below and some helpful support pages that sort of walks you through every step along the way for setting this up to make sure you're good to go. But if you do have any additional questions and concerns, please feel free to reach out in the comment section below. Always happy to clarify anything further or go over anything in more detail. Hope you have an amazing rest of your day. I look forward to seeing you again soon in the next video. Take care.